A very good morning to all of you. Today in this class we are going to start a new chapter named Lucy Rowan's mother. Okay, but before starting the class, let's do Brahmanad. Now open your eyes. So today the chapter is Lucy Rowan's mother, and this one is written by Linda Branford, and she was a British journalist living in New York. Okay, so in the previous class I have told you one thing, that how Lucy was trying to get all the facilities which was available for the elderly people in the city, but finally she was unable to get anything, and what did she do? She just shifted her mother to her own apartment, and her daughter Lucy was the mother. Okay, I am writing down here Lucy and Lisa. And Lisa, her daughter, she has to sleep on the sofa. This was the solution which was being made by Lucy. Now let us see what are the planning of the city's Department of Aging for their elderly people, either they are getting it or not, and what are the difficulties of people whenever they are going to such places. Despite cutbacks, the city does everything it can think of to help the old, and despite all the demerits, the city was trying its level best to help the elderly people. It sets up centers and projects. Number of centers are there, number of projects are there. Most of them disappear before people can find them. But what's the problem? Problem is that most of the projects are disappearing before it is being found by people. Understood it? It means it was very difficult to find out the project or to find out the offices where it is located. Others complain they can't find the certain isolated old to help, but every time bureaucracy comes up with another way to tackle one problem, it runs into another problem. But at the same time, sometimes some officials, some are speaking that they are unable to find the office, they are unable to know the project. Some other times the bureaucracy, they are speaking that they are unable to find out old people to help. So who is speaking lie and who is speaking the truth? It is known to them only. Correct or not? So the bureaucracy are speaking that they are unable to find out an isolated elderly people to help. Early alert is the perfect example. It's available to anyone over 65. So early alert, the organization is the example of it. You can take the advantage from early alert if you are more than 65 years old. This is the theory. Nearly all the cities, mail is delivered to boxes clustered together on the ground floor of its building, except for those who don't have boxes, through a tie-in with the post office. So early alert, they are getting the later from the post office. There is a tie-up. Early alert and the post office, there is a tie-up, and they are getting letters from the elderly people. How? The elderly people, they will drop letters to early alert that they do need help. Early alert arranges for the postman to put a red dot inside the relevant box to remind himself it belongs to an old person. So what is the early alert doing? They are reminding the postmaster, the postman, to put a red dot mark on a specific boxes which are belonging to the elderly people. Okay, otherwise it's practically not possible to find out which box is belonging to elderly people and which is not. So this is the work of the postman, that he will put a dot mark on the box to discriminate, to differentiate it from the other boxes. If he notices a bulging wad of letters, the postman remembers and works out that something might be amiss. And here, if there are bulging of letters, means there are a number, if the box is completely filled with letter, then the postman has to think that there is some emergency, there is the need of something to do. Not surprisingly, only 11,000 people have registered so far with early alert. And how many people have been registered? Only 11,000. Most old people are afraid to, and most of the old people are afraid to register. Why? I will speak you. Breaking open mailboxes is so common that people don't want to alert criminal to their vulnerability, and there is the chance that mailboxes can be opened, and the anti-socials, they can find out that yes, there is an elderly people and the person is living alone, so they can plan some crime on them. It offers Besides, not many old people get letters, and at the same time, almost all the old people are not getting letters. Undaunted, the Department for the Aging came up with a brand new scheme. They opened a pilot senior citizens crime prevention and assistance center. So, there was also another project, and what is that? The project name is, that is a pilot senior citizen project named Crime Prevention and Assistance Center. It was a project. Bearing in mind that 40% of the inner cities elderly poor have been the victims of crime, and they were thinking, they know that mostly 40% of the people, they are the victim of crime. The center wanted to teach the other 60% to protect themselves, and the center will teach other 60% people to protect themselves. It offered booklets with such tips as, if I waken at night by an intruder, lie still, and it provides the booklet that if you are being disturbed by some intruder, means if someone is entering into your house unknowingly, then lie still, means don't wake up, you just lie down on your bed, because if you are getting up, you might be the victim of the crime. So you just lie down, let them whatever they are doing. It will also help people after they have been mugged. Social workers will offer counseling to help post-mugging trauma. At the same time, it is not only giving some instruction to the elderly people to remain sane, but it is also helping the people who are the victim of crime, and they are also studying the mental condition of the people after they are the victim. Post-mugging trauma, and on a more practical level, make the necessary telephone calls to get stolen ID cards replaced and to find emergency financial and housing help if necessary. At the same time, it is also helping to people to find out their ID proof. At the same time, it is also helping people to get some financial help. Okay, this is the work of the project. It would also help people the problem. Okay, so it will help people in all these things. Before crime it will help, after crime it will help, it will study the mental condition of the elderly people also, it will study each and everything. But what is the problem? Problem is, the office is on the 6th floor of an unguarded, almost deserted building in a rough street of Broadway. So, what is mentioned? That the office is in an isolated area. This is on the 6th floor of an unguarded building. There is no guard, there is no security in the building, but the office is there on the 6th floor. Think. There is no elevator attendant, and the elevator lift is there, but there is no attendant. You have to go by yourself. The Crime Prevention Center always advises the elderly not to get into empty elevator, and the Crime Prevention Department, they always warn the elderly people not to enter into the elevator if that one is empty, if there is no security. Understood? Because this is not at all good. Look, up to 1st or 2nd floor it's okay, but if you are going up to 10th floor, don't go alone, okay, because that is not good. Rowan discovered that to get help for her mother, she had to contact 7 different agencies. Her mother has since died, and Lucy did find out one thing, that in order to get one thing, means in order to get the help for her mother, she has to contact 7 different agencies. In the meantime, her mother had since died. In the meantime, her mother died, but she didn't get any help. At the same time, it was too difficult to get the help from the elderly department of the city. Understood it? So, in the first class, I have told you how Lucy was feeling good, and what was the reaction when she get to know about all this thing, that her mother should get all these facilities, and right now she realized what is the real problem and why the elderly people are scared to register themselves under such scheme, and what is the real reason behind it, and she finally decided that she will not do anything because her mother might have died, and she has to contact several agencies, which was not at all quite advisable, and this was not at all easy also. Okay, understood? You just read the chapter line by line. Any doubt, any problem you have, you just call me. Okay, so till that time, thank you. Have a nice time.